Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here on a Tuesday, March 21st, 2023. I'm trying to make some money per usual. If you're looking for more of this great content, y'all know what to do. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and drop y'all like down in the comments. As you know, I love going through, seeing who y'all like, man. My best bets can be found over at Pickdawgz Premium. Just click that link in the description. Takes you right to my handicapper page. That's where you can find my long-term packages, 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, monthly, yearly, and seasonal. You can also find all my bets for today's action. College hoops, we're going kind of light this week. We don't have a whole lot of action. Might have a little bit. NBA for sure. Hey, I gave out a hockey lock yesterday, man. I love to see that, man. I might be active again in hockey. We'll see. So yeah, all my bets can be found in that link in the description, including my $15 NBA Jam Session play. I dropped it last night. Had the Mavs on the money line. They looked really good in the first half. Fell apart in the second half, man. I only had one bet yesterday. I tweeted out yesterday. Yesterday's card was not my favorite, man. I really didn't like the card at all. Today is a much better card, man. I love today's action. Y'all know we're going to smash it per usual. Bounce back day on a Tuesday for your guy, Jay, man. Follow me over on Twitter at ParlayGuyJ. And check out my live show. I'm live right here on the Pick Dawgz YouTube channel every day. 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. As I come back, run through the card one more time. Usually have a guest on that show as well. Today will be my guy, James Clark, making his season debut on the live jam session, man. Come tune in with us today, 3 Central, 4 Eastern. It's live. Y'all can ask questions and all that stuff in the comments, man. We usually drop a parlay at the end as well. That show just helps us update y'all on late injury news and information coming out of the association, man. So come spend some time with your guy later on today. But for right now, man, early in the morning, y'all know we finna cook it up right quick. Try to get ahead of some of this news. So without further ado, let's hop right into tonight's NBA action. In our first matchup of the night, man, we got the Wizards out on the road facing the Orlando Magic. Orlando home favorites in this one, laying one, total 225. It's an interesting little matchup we got going here, man. The Washington Wizards are in the 11th spot, 2 games out of the 10th spot, right behind the Chicago Bulls. Still make a little run, man, and then you got the Magic 4 games out. The Magic, that's pretty much over for them, man. The Wizards, they can still make a little push here. The Bulls playing really good basketball, trying to keep them out, so we'll see if they can make a run. They will not have Kuzma tonight. The Magic will not have Suggs. The Wizards won both meetings between these two teams this season. The first one was in Washington on the 30th of December. Washington won that one pretty handedly. 119-100, beat them up in Orlando. And then the last one was on the 21st of January with Washington winning that one really comfortably as well. 138-118. I know the Wizards have not been playing good here recently, man. They've lost 4 of their last 5. You know, they've been beat pretty good in their last 2 as well. Sacramento beat them 132-118. Cleveland beat them 117-94. But still right in the thick of things, I do lean Wizards in this spot tonight. I don't like the spot at all for the Magic either. Magic this season as home favorites are the worst team in the NBA. 2-7 as home favorites this season. That's 22.2%. That's worse than Miami at 9-22-2. That's worse than Minnesota at 7-15. Orlando as favorites, man. It's not really a great place to be. Orlando as dogs, you know, we love them as the dogs, man. They love to bark in those situations. As a home favorite, I don't really like this spot for them. Like I said, the Wizards have already beat them up twice this season. The Wizards need this game a little more. I'm going to lean on the Wizards on the money line here in this one. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Detroit Pistons out on the road facing the Atlanta Hawks. Hawks favored by 13.5 in this one, man. Total 237. It's a tough one, man. I do think the Hawks are the side. I do lean their direction, but 13.5 is kind of crazy. Can we agree on that? The 13.5 with the Hawks is kind of crazy. The Pistons are terrible. They're in full-blown tank mode, so I do understand why the line is where it's at. The Pistons are just sitting guys for no reason. No Bojan, no Alec Burks, no Durant, no Livers, no Hampton. Who's playing tonight for the Pistons, in all honesty? For the Hawks, it looks like DeJounte Murray will not play tonight. Neither will Jalen Johnson. The Hawks have won all 3 meetings between these two teams this season. They won the first one 118-113 in Detroit on the 26th of October. They won the second one on the 28th of October, 136-112, so they hammered them in that one. And then the most recent matchup was on the 23rd of December with the Hawks winning that one 130-105. So we have seen the Hawks put it to this Pistons team twice this season. Could they do it for a third time today on their home floor? I think so. I lean their direction here in this one. Still with much more to play for. Still now one game under 500. I seen a stat that the Hawks for the last 25 games have been one game within 500. Either that's one game above or one game below. But for the last 25 games, the Hawks have been one game away from 500. They're right under it today. They probably get back to 500. No, they do get back to 500 today. Do they do about 13 and a half? It's kind of a crazy and scary place to be with this Hawks team, but with the current condition of this Pistons team, I think the Hawks is the right side in this one. Hell, we just saw the Pistons get beat by Miami by 12 at home. Denver got them by 19. Washington got them by a pretty good margin. Hawks should get this one done at home. I lean their direction here in this one. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers out on the road facing the Brooklyn Nets. Cleveland laying 3 as road favorites, total 218 and a half. Interesting little game here, man. The Nets have now lost 3 straight. Are they due for a bounce back game? They are. Do I think they get it against Cleveland? I don't, man. I'd lean Cleveland laying the 3 here in this one. The Nets, they lost to the Thunder Buddies out on the road. Our favorite money-making team. Y'all know I love me some Thunder, man. 121-107. Lost to Sacramento at home, 101-96. Lost to Denver at home as well, 108-102. The Nets team did beat this Cleveland team in the lone meeting that they faced off this season, 125-117 in Cleveland on the 26th of December. I will say that was a different Nets team than is currently constructed. That was still the Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving Nets. So, you know, the Cavs are on a revenge spot, but it's not really against the same team. We'll see if that factor still factors in. I like the Cavs here tonight, though, man. They've won 3 of their last 4. Granted, they haven't played the best competition. They beat Charlotte twice, and they beat up on Washington. And that one loss in that span came at home to Philadelphia. But all that said, I think Cleveland is the better team, playing the better basketball. They could also be getting a huge piece back tonight in Jared Allen, one of their 2 big men that really make a difference, man. And I think that'll be the key for Cleveland winning this game and covering the line. If Jared Allen plays, I think they will eat this Brooklyn Nets team alive down low. Brooklyn does match up pretty well with Cleveland on the perimeter. They got guys that can guard Mitchell and Garland. But down low is, I think, where Cleveland has the mismatch on mismatches. Claxton, he will not be able to guard these 2 guys, and Mobley and Jared Allen. I think if they both play, man, Cleveland should try to work that inside-out game, man, and probably will have a lot of success doing so. Cleveland, man, they're my dark horse to make the finals, man. I think they could really do so. They could really make the Eastern Conference Finals and give whoever they see there a real run for their money. When I say that, I could see this Cleveland team beating Milwaukee in a 7-game series. I could see this Cleveland team beating Boston in a 7-game series. I could see this Cleveland team beating Philadelphia in a 7-game series. They're the 4th best team in the East, man, but I kind of like this Cleveland team. I think they match up well with a lot of those, with those 3 teams that are in the top of the East. Cleveland, I think they're a dark horse, man. I think they keep it rolling here tonight. I think they match up really well with Brooklyn. They probably beat them up down low. I want to see if Jared Allen plays, but if he do, I think the Cavs probably roll right past this Brooklyn Nets team here in this one tonight. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the San Antonio Spurs out on the road facing the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans laying 11, total 233. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm not laying 11 with the Pelicans. So, I do lean Spurs, but it's a small lean, man. I have a feeling that the Spurs might be trying to tank this game. Their injury report is kind of long. No Zach Collins, no Trey Jones, probably no McDermott. Graham's looking questionable. Shohan might not play. It's a tough spot, man. This Pelicans team has hammered the Spurs team in all 3 meetings. 129-110 on the 23rd of November, 117-99 on the 2nd of December, and 126-117 on the 22nd of December. So, like I said, they hammered them in all 3 meetings. But the Spurs have been playing better basketball here recently, man. They were down big to Atlanta in that last game. Came back and beat them. Not only came back, but beat them. The Hawks were laying a huge number in that one, I believe. And we're up huge. I remember we're up huge. And then Spurs happened. Came back and won that one. They kept it competitive with Memphis. Pushed them to overtime. Probably should have won that game as well. Pushed them to overtime. Still covered the line. Pushed my Mavs to overtime, failed to cover in that game, but we're winning majority of that one, beat the Magic. So I like what I've seen from this Spurs team in their last 4 games. I just have major concerns that they're going to go through the motions in this one today. I know I don't want to lay 11 with the Pelicans, though. The Pelicans, they've been really, 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 really struggling. They're not out of the play-in tournament, but I don't think they make it. I think the 10 that are in currently stay in. I think that the Thunder will be the 10th seed, with the Lakers probably being 9, and then the rest moving up. They did beat the Rockets in their last one by 10 points. I mean, they had to do that. I mean, their season was on the line. The game before, they had the win in the bag and lost to the Houston Rockets as well, 114-112. The Lakers beat them pretty good, 123-108. Oklahoma City beat them up pretty good, 110-96. They did beat Portland. It's a tough one for me, man. I want to take the Spurs. That's what I want to say. I want to take the Spurs, but I want to see who plays tonight, man. I got to see this injury report for the Spurs. They've been playing great basketball. I hope they play some guys tonight and keep this one competitive. Pelicans laying 11 is just not a spot I want to be, man. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Spurs won this game outright, but I got to have most of the guys in there for the Spurs. So I'll update y'all on this game later on today, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, as I will be live with my live jam session. I think I have my guy James Clark on there today, man. So James making his show debut with me on the jam session. So come tune in with us later on, see what I got to say about it then, see what James got to say about it. Leaning Spurs right now, though, but I want to see the injury report. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Boston Celtics out on the road facing the Sacramento Kings. Boston road favorites laying 4.5, total 238.5. The Sacramento Kings, man, they finally got their 3rd loss coming out of the All-Star break, man. They did lose to the Jazz yesterday, 128-120 out on the road. They just played 4 of the last 5 games out on the road, in Chicago, in Brooklyn, in Washington, in Utah. They do return home in this one off of a road game, so they had to travel home. This is a back-to-back, and I don't think it's a great spot to be facing the Celtics off of a loss, man. I lean Celtics in this one. I don't fade the Kings very often, but I do think today is probably a great spot to do so. They looked kind of dead yesterday against that Jazz team. Just quite honestly, they did look like the Jazz wanted that one a little more. And I think the Celtics coming here locked in. The Celtics lost to the Jazz, and that was disgusting. The Celtics had that game in the bag. Probably should have won that game. No, probably. The Celtics should have won that game. They lost by 1 to the Jazz, 118-117. Both teams are not really in great spots. This is going to be the 6th straight road game for the Celtics. They've been on the road a ton. And the Kings are coming off of a lot of travel on their road trip, man. This is going to be their first home game back off of a lot of traveling road trip. So, interesting spot, interesting game. The Celtics did win the only meeting this season, 122-104 on the 25th of November in Boston. That was way early in the season. So, I would say these 2 teams are playing 2 totally different styles of basketball than they were then. So, I'm not going to put too much emphasis on that one. I like the Celtics, though, tonight, man. I do. I think today should be a bounce-back spot off that terrible loss for them in their last one. They've been on the road for a minute, so they're kind of acclimated to be on the road. Sacramento still has to come back home and get back acclimated to being at home. They did a lot of traveling. They went to Chicago, left Chicago, went to Brooklyn, left Brooklyn, went to Washington, left Washington, went to Utah. Was in Utah last night. Now got to leave Utah and fly back to Sacramento. That's a lot of traveling. And now you got to face the team that I've said for majority of the season is the best team in the NBA, in the Boston Celtics, in a bounce-back spot. I just think it's a bad spot for the Kings, man. We're just going to call it a bad spot for the Kings. The Kings, they're going to get back rolling here soon, man. They just need a little decompression period. Think the Celtics, off that bad loss to the Jazz, bounce back today on the road. I'll lay the 4.5 with them here in this one tonight. In our last and final matchup of the night, man, we got our favorite money-making team, man, the Thunder Buddies, the Cover Buddies, the best ATS team in the entire NBA. And they're getting 6.5 on the road versus the Clips today. And, of course, we're taking that 6.5 in our back pocket. And me, personally, I'm sprinkling some on the money line as well. I will say this is not my top play today. There's something that I love just a little more than this one. So it's not going to be my $15 play today. Could have been, but it's not. I am betting the Thunder today, man. I am betting the Thunder in this spot. We've seen them beat the Clippers in their 2 meetings this season. I will say those were way early in the season, on the 25th of October and the 26th 27th of October. But they beat them pretty good in both, 108-94 and 118-110. We got the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander revenge factor, as the Clippers were the team that drafted my guy. But all that said, man, the Thunder, I love the way they've been playing recently, man. The Thunder have won 4 of their last 5, one game under 500. Would I be surprised if they got to 500 today? I would not at all. I think they have a real shot at beating this Clippers team outright today. A lot of people not key on our Thunder buddies, man. A lot of people are still scared to bet them. They're a small market team. Not a lot of eyes get paid attention to this Thunder team, man. But we've been locked in on this team all season. We've rode them all the way to the best cover team in the NBA. I'm riding them again here, plus this 6.5. I will say the Clips have been playing great basketball too. Hence why it's not my play of the day. The Clips have been playing really good basketball. They've won 4 of their last 5 as well, including 3 of their last 4 at home. Beat up on Toronto, beat up on New York, beat up on Golden State, lost to Orlando 113-108. The Clips were trying to play a new style of basketball with Russell Westbrook. I still think they're trying to figure things out for the playoffs, for their little stretch run. But today, I think the Thunder definitely can keep this game competitive, man. They've been doing it a ton recently. They've been winning games outright recently. They're one of the best road teams in the entire NBA. 19-12-3, have covered in 61.3% of their road games. Third best road ATS team in the entire NBA. Let's see what they are straight up on the road. I think they'd be winning out there too. They're not as good. 13-21 straight up out on the road. But we don't need them to win. We need them to cover. I think they get the cover, but I think they get the win too, to be honest. I'm sprinkling some on the money line. Love the way they've been playing. One game under 500. They're in the play-in. The Thunder are in the play-in, man. Still have a ton to play for. Could improve their seeding as well, man. Like, they're only 3 games behind this Clips team with a substantial amount of games to go. Nothing is out of the realm of the Thunder, man. People are still not key on this team. We've been locked in and loaded on them all season. Like I said, one of the best cover road teams in the NBA. I definitely think they can keep this one competitive with the Clips. Would not be surprised at all if Shai went for 40 and pulled this game out on the road. And that's going to conclude today's episode on the Jam Session on March 21st, 2023, man. Thank y'all for watching. Smash that like button for your guy, man. Subscribe if you're new, and drop y'all like down in the comments. As you know, I love going through, seeing who y'all like, man. My best bets can be found over at Pickdawgz Premium. Just click that link in the description. Takes you right to my Handicapper page. That's where you can find my long-term packages, 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, monthly, yearly, and seasonal. You can find all my bets for today's action, man. College hoops, maybe. We got smaller card until the weekend. NBA for sure. We cashed out on some hockey yesterday. I gave y'all a hockey winner yesterday. I might have another one in the tuck, man. We'll see. We'll find out. Follow me on Twitter at ParlayGuyJ. And check out my live shows. I am live right here on the Pickdawgz YouTube channel every day, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. As I usually bring on a guest. We run through the card one more time. Cook up a parlay for y'all at the end of the show as well. So come tune in live every day, 3 Central, 4 Eastern. I will have my guy James Clark on the show today, man. So come tune in with us today. Let's make some money in the NBA. We got to bounce back. Yesterday wasn't the best day for me in the NBA. I didn't have a lot of action yesterday. I really only had one bet. It was the Mavs. It was my top play. They looked good in the first half. Fell apart in the second half. Happens. We'll bounce back today, man. So thank y'all for watching again. Been your guy, Jay Briggs. I'll see y'all later on today. Let's make some money on a Tuesday. I'm out of here. Peace.